Today I would like to explain about what is meaning of fraud and statistical data. Well, what is fraud? It's more than just what makes headlines. Fraud is the intentional manipulation of the truth for financial or personal gain. Fraud perpetrators target business, government and individuals. Wherever there is money, there's a potential for fraud. It comes in three main categories, which is asset misappropriation, corruption and financial reporting fraud. Asset misappropriation is by far the most common type of fraud. It essentially means stealing from a business.
Cash is obviously most susceptible to misappropriation and can happen by skimming, reversing a sale, paying fictitious invoices, or through lapping.
Skimming relates to the theft of cash. This is where an employee steals cash from a customer before it's ever recorded by the company. Employees can also misappropriate cash after it's been booked into the accounts by reversing a sale, or cash can also be stolen through payment schemes to fictitious suppliers or payments for fictitious invoices. Other asset misappropriation happens in a variety of different ways. The second group of fraud schemes that we're going to discuss is corruption. Corruption is the misuse of resources for personal gain by a person who holds a senior person. Corruption. This includes bribes and illegal gratuities and payment in kind received by an employee from customers or supplies for special consideration. Corruption through extortion is somewhat different to a bribe in that an employer will approach the vendor or a customer and threaten them with losing the business if they don't pay them off. The issue here is what happens. The company can extract the best value from the terms of the business relationship.
The last category is fraudulent financial reporting. Fraudulent financial reporting is an intentional misstatement or omission of amounts or disclosures with the intent to deceive users. While misappropriation of assets is fraud that involves theft of an entity's assets. In each case, misrepresented financial statements led to huge financial losses and a number of bankruptcies.
The most frequent cook-the-books schemes involves fictitiously inflating revenues, holding the books open, recognizing revenues before they are earned, closing the books early, delaying current expenses to a later period, overstating inventories or fixed assets, and concealing losses and liabilities. This are the way happen fraudulent financial reporting.
Next is about statistical data. Survey reveals that 41% of Malaysian companies reported experiencing economic crime in the last 2 years, up from 28% in 2016. These are the top 3 pervasive economic crimes in Malaysia. First is 45% crimes from business conduct or misconduct. And the second highest is asset misappropriation, which is 41%. 35% crimes from bribery and corruption. The statistic shows the share of survey respondents in Malaysia who experienced the following types of fraud and economic crimes in their organization.
The latest research on global payment fraud statistics shows the different way fraud happened in the world. The first line of defense in minimizing fraud risk is fraud prevention.
Prevention is typically the most cost-effective component of a fraud risk management system because it poses barriers to fraud, deters fraud and can eliminate the need for costly investigations. Fraud prevention implemented through prevention controls. These controls may derive from a standards-based information security management system.
At the global level, we're seeing figures that paint a similar picture. Fraud rates are at an all-time high. Worryingly, these numbers are detected and reported fraud and do not necessarily cover all instances of fraud. Thank you for watching the video.